Hi everybody, in this video we'll talk about all function in Dax. It is a very important function that comes very handy when you write measures in Power BI, Power Pivot, or the analysis services. Let's see what this function does. So basically this function is a filter function that is used for ignoring any filters in the calculation in DAX. So the syntax is you apply all, and it can reference any table or a particular column, or not more than one number of columns. All right, so without further ado, let's look this in action. All right, so I have a basic data model. I have a dim product, dim sales territory, and fact internet sales, which these tables are part of the AdventureWorks data warehouse. So I'm just gonna create a relationship. Looks like I already have a relationship between the different tables. So I'll create a basic report here. Let's create a report based on cells. Let me create a tabular report. So in this case here, let's slice by color, let's say. So what I'm seeing here is this table gives us what are the sales amount by each color. And let's say we have to calculate the percentage share of each color that was sold. We can easily get that. I'll show you one method, and I'll show you how we can use that. How can we get that using DAX and using all function? So let me expand that. If I have to get the percentage contribution of black, I can just go to the measure, bring it again, and express that or show that as a percentage of the grand total. So what this will do is it will give us, it'll divide the 8,838,000 by the grand total, and which calculates that 30%. So let's see how we can do that by using DAX and using all function. So let me copy this visual, Control C, Control V, and rather than calculating this by GUI method that I showed you just earlier, let's calculate this. Let's get this total amount as part of the column, and we can divide this 8 million number by the 29 million, and we can get to that 30%. So the way to do that is by using this handy all function. So for us to do that, let's create a new measure, and we'll call it all sales, and which will be calculate sum of sales amount by using all. So all here is used as a calculate modifier. So when we put all, it clears the filter on any condition that we put inside all. It could be a table, or it could be a column within a table. So in this case here, let's put a ignore the filter on any column on the dim product table. So if I do that and I bring in all cells into the visual, you see that it's ignoring filter of color on any row. So you'll see that we have the same grand total value across all rows. So then we can calculate the percentage of color, let's say, and that will be divide of sum of sales amount divided by all sales, and give us 0 if we have 0 as part of the numerator. So if we bring that in and format that as a percentage, we get the same value. So the all function becomes very handy to get calculation like this. So there's a very similar function called Allselected. So let's also look into that. So let's say if I to talk about why we need Allselected, I'll show you a use case here. So if I bring in a filter, let's say color, as part of the slicer, and put it as a black, what you see here is that number is repeated, and you don't see that 100% because we are only trying to look at the color black. The denominator on this case should be corresponding to anything that has black, and it should be 100% in this case, but we are not seeing that. We are only seeing 30%. So in order to give us the right number when a outside filter is applied through a slicer, we could use a Allselected function. So let's call it slicer impacted all cells. We can do calculate again, sum of sales amount, and instead of all, we'll use Allselected, which is the first one here, and we'll ignore the filter on the whole dim product. So if we do that and bring in the visual, you'll see we got that 8 million number in as part of the measure. So this is working correctly. So if we, instead of using the all, we'll replace this with Allselected. So let me take this out, and we will replace this here. And for the percentage, let's change that to reflect the right value. So here we'll use a different measure. And if I do that, we can see that 100%, if we select multiple colors, that is reflected in the visual. So this is how all and Allselected can be used in Dax. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Until next time.